Imagine this. Mark 36, solid job, gym 5 days a week, finally ready to lock it down with Sarah, the perfect fiancée, beautiful, sweet, posts Bible verses on Instagram, cries at proposals, the whole package. They're picking out cribs for the baby she's carrying. His baby, she says. One quiet Tuesday night on the couch, he casually drops it. Hey babe, when the little guy arrives, I'd feel better if we just did a quick DNA test. Standard stuff. Peace of mind, you know? Silence. Then the mask cracks. Sarah's face goes white, then red. Tears explode. You think I'm a whore? She screams. She jumps up, knocking over the coffee table. How dare you? My mom is going to hear about this. We're done. She storms out, slamming doors, calling her friends in hysterics. Mark sits there stunned, thinking he just asked for a credit check, not a declaration of war. 2 weeks later, after she calms down and begs to come back, he still gets the test behind her back. Results: 0.00% probability of paternity. The baby wasn't his. The wedding was off. The house deposit returned, and Mark walked away with his future intact. One sentence destroyed the fairy tale and saved his life. If you think that would never happen to me, keep watching. Because most men say that right up until the lab envelope hits the mailbox. And by then, it's already too late. From the time you were 5 years old, they sold you the fairy tale. Disney movies, rom-coms, your own mother. Every voice whispered the same sacred rule. If you really love her, you trust her completely. No questions, no doubts, ever asking for proof. That's what insecure, toxic, controlling men do. Real men just believe. Your buddies reinforced it at the bachelor party. Bro, don't be that guy. My wife would divorce me if I even joked about a DNA test. Your future mother-in-law smiled sweetly and said, "We're traditional family trusts family." Even the pastor at premarital counseling nodded. Marriage is built on faith, son. So you swallowed it whole. You repeated it like gospel. Requesting a paternity test means you never loved her in the first place. Ow. Here's what they never showed after the credits. Rolled actual studies once the media berries show non-paternity rates between 10 and 30%, depending on the country, socioeconomic group, and how honest the sample is. One review of over 50,000 tests worldwide pegged the average at roughly 1 in 7 men raising a child who isn't biologically theirs. In some urban clinics doing voluntary testing, it spikes above 1 in 4. That's not conspiracy theory. That's lab data. Yet dare mention those numbers in polite company and watch the room freeze. You've just committed the ultimate modern blasphemy. You're not supposed to notice. You're supposed to shut up, pay the bills, and smile for the Christmas card while the real father posts thirst traps from Cancun. They turned a simple 5-minute cheek swab into the relationship equivalent of accusing her of murder. Because for a disturbing percentage of women, the accusation is accurate. And society's job is to make sure you feel like the villain for wanting to know the truth. You were sold unconditional trust. What you actually got was unconditional risk. Here's the uncomfortable truth. They'll never teach in couples therapy. Women operate on hypergamy, always aware of the next better option, even the good ones. It's not malice. It's biology wired over thousands of years. When she was 22 and riding the carousel, she could afford mistakes. When she hits 28-35, the game changes. The clock is screaming. She needs commitment, resources, and security. Fast, enter you. Stable, earning, responsible, ready to provide. You're the perfect retirement plan. If she made a whoopsie during a girls' trip, an office party, or a rebound with her ripped ex, a pregnancy can still be salvaged so long as she locks you in before you ever suspect. The strategy is simple. Secure the proposal, get the ring, walk the aisle, pop the kid out. Once your name is on the birth certificate, the state becomes her enforcer. Child support, alimony, college funds, 18 years, minimum. You're financially and emotionally tethered, whether the kid shares your DNA or not. That's the ultimate insurance policy, turning a high-value man into a lifetime provider for another man's seed. Now you ask for a DNA test in 1, Sentence, you threaten to blow up the entire plan. You're not just questioning trust, you're threatening to strip away the safety net she spent years constructing. That's why trust me instantly morphs from sweet pillow talk into a nuclear weapon. Tears, accusations, rage, calling her mom, posting, cryptic Instagram stories about toxic masculinity. It's all theater designed to make you fold. Because if you stand your ground, the house of cards collapses. No wedding, no child support jackpot, no cushy future. She's back to square one, aging out of the game. For the small percentage who actually cheated, the panic is pure self-preservation. For the rest, it's still panic because they know the system is built on the assumption that good men will never ask. They've been told their entire lives that they deserve blind faith. You daring to verify isn't just an insult. It's an existential threat to the whole feminine imperative. Trust me isn't about love, it's about making sure you never discover you've been drafted into someone else's retirement plan. There are only 3 kinds of women who lose their minds. When you mention a DNA test, spot which one you're with now, because 99% of men don't figure it out until the results are already in someone else's inbox. Type 1, the cheater. Who got caught? This is the one who actually slept with someone else while you were together. Maybe it was a drunk mistake in Vegas. Maybe it was a 6-month affair with a trainer. She knows the math doesn't add up. The second you say DNA test, her nervous system goes into full fight-or-flight. You'll see instant tears, immediate accusations you're paranoid, and the fastest subject change in history. Example, Jake's girlfriend cried for 3 days, threatened suicide, and called him abusive. He caved. 2 years later, he found out the toddler calling him Dada belonged to her married boss. She panicked because she was already caught. She just hadn't been exposed yet. Type 2. The former party girl with a wild past. She doesn't know for sure. That's what terrifies her. From 19 to 29, she lived the hot girl lifestyle. Club promoters, festival hookups, I blacked out stories she laughs about at brunch. She met you at 31, cleaned up, traded tequila shots for yoga classes, and convinced everyone, including herself, that chapter is sealed. But one blurry night 10 years ago still haunts her. She's 70% sure it's yours. But 30% is enough to make her stomach drop when you mention the test. You'll get the "I can't believe you'd bring up my past" speech, followed by shaming you for not letting me move on. She panics because opening that envelope could shatter the redemption arc she sold you on herself. Type 3. The entitled princess, who thinks blind faith is your job. She's never cheated and her past is squeaky clean, yet she still explodes. Why? Because in her world, a high-value man doesn't question royalty. You're supposed to worship the ground she walks on without evidence. The DNA request bruises her ego so badly she can't breathe. You'll hear, "My friends' husbands would never. I deserve to be trusted." And the classic, "If you have to ask, you don't deserve us." She weaponizes your completely reasonable caution into proof that you're not man enough for her. She panics because the test threatens the power dynamic, where she holds all the cards and you're grateful just to be in the room. 3 types. 1 reaction, total meltdown. 99% of men can't tell which one they're sleeping next to until the mask is already off, and by then the trap is sprung. Choose carefully. Brother, your bloodline is on the line. When you drop the DNA request, the explosion follows a predictable script. Memorize these lines now so when they hit you live, you stay stone cold instead of folding. You're literally calling me a whore. Translation: she's skipping straight to victim mode to make you the villain. Ice cold response: say nothing else. I'm asking for a lab test, not passing judgment. It's a yes or no question. Then shut up. Silence forces her to keep talking and reveal more. How can you do this to me? My mother is crying right now. Translation: recruiting flying monkey's mom, sister, best friend to gang up on you. Ice cold response: this is between us. I'm happy to discuss it calmly once everyone else is out of it. Do not apologize. Do not justify twice. If you loved me, you wouldn't need a test. Translation: attempting to flip the moral frame love now equals blind risk. Ice cold response: I love you enough to build a family on truth, not hope. 5 minutes at the lab proves that. Deliver it flat, no emotion. Emotion is her fuel. None of my friends' husbands asked for this. You're embarrassing me. Translation, social shaming via comparison. Ice-cold response. Good. Then none of their husbands will ever pay child support for another man's kid either. Smile while you say it. I can't believe after everything we've been through, you don't trust me. Translation. Darvo deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Ice-cold response. Trust is earned daily. Certainty is a $99 swab. I'm choosing certainty. Fine. Get your stupid test. But we're done if you do. Translation. Ultimatum bluff, hoping you cave. Ice-cold response. If a simple test ends us, we were already over. Schedule it, or I will. Watch her volume rise and tears flow. That's the manipulation hitting peak intensity. The louder she gets, the calmer you stay. Deep breath, lower your voice, slow your words. Men who stay ice-cold win. Men who match her energy get bled dry for 2 decades. These are not debates. They are tests. Pass them, or pay for them literally until the kid graduates college. You ask for a DNA test, and she swears up and down it's less than 1% chance anything's wrong. It's basically impossible. She says, eyes wide with that innocent hurt. You're being ridiculous. Here's the hammer. Thotone percent is a fairy tale they feed you to keep the machine running. Actual studies, lab-tested, peer-reviewed, no agenda paint, a far uglier picture. Globally, non-paternity rates clock in betweens 8% and 30%, with a median off 3, 7% across Aventine major analyses from the 1950s to now. That's 1 in 27 men worldwide raising another guy's kid, convinced it's his legacy. In the UK, it's a low 1.6%, 1 in 62. France, 2.8%. Switzerland, 0.8%. But crank up the risk factors NYD couples, lower socioeconomic brackets, urban chaos and it spikes. Mexico hits 11.8%. In Jamaica or Nigeria, anecdotal data from men's rights forums and local clinics whisper 20 to 30%, sometimes higher in high-infidelity pockets. And get this, in Hiba communities in Namibia, nearly half the kids aren't biologically tied to their social dads. Half DNA labs don't lie, they confirm it. Paternity testing firms like Home DNA report that of men who actually bother to test, usually because doubt's already creeping in. 32% get the gut punch, not the father. A national U.S. database of 9,999 cases. 28% exclusions, hitting hardest in African American samples. A30, 3%. Family Tree DNA's consumer data from 24,000 users. 3% NPE bombshells non-paternity events that shatter families out of nowhere. These aren't random swabs. They're the tip of the iceberg. Because most men never test. They just sign the birth certificate and start the teen-year ATM withdrawal. Even celebs aren't bulletproof. Eddie Murphy shelled out for Mel B's kid until a test proved it wasn't his another man's. Mick Jagger lost 2 suits in the 70s and 90s, paying up for kids that weren't his. Beyoncé's dad, Matthew Knowles, got hit with a 4th child claim in 2015. DNA said yes, but it blew up his marriage anyway. And just last year, Laura Owens got indicted in Arizona for faking ultrasounds to paternity trap Bachelor star Clayton Churd. 14 felonies. All for squeezing child support from a lie. Reddit's a graveyard of these horrors. One guy in RAITAH tested his 5-year-old after flirty texts negative. Wife swore it was a joke. He's divorcing out $50,000 in support already. Another in our best of Reddit tortoise. Husband tests daughter, fails. Turns out it's a hospital mix-up kid ain't even hers. They're suing, but the trust vaporized. Our true and popular opinion threads scream it. Men walking away from their kids after fraud. Shamed as monsters while the real dad ghosts. One dude did 5 years in prison for unpaid support in a kid that wasn't his. TikTok went viral. Comments flooded with Me Too nightmares. She says less than 1%. Reality. In disputed cases, it's sewn in 4. In some zip codes, higher. That's not odds. That's Russian roulette with your bloodline, your bank account, your soul. And nobody dares mention it because the system profits from your blindness. Child support collections hit $32 billion last year in the U.S. alone. Guess who foots most of it? Open your eyes, brother. The stats don't care about her tears. You don't have to look paranoid. Don't have to scream or accuse. You just have to be smarter than the 99% who wait until the birth certificate is signed and the trap is locked. Here's the exact playbook the topone percent use. Timing, never after birth. Once your name is on that paper, you're legally the father in most states and countries even if DNA later proves otherwise. Ask between week 12 and week 20 of pregnancy, when emotions are still manageable and abortion or breakup is still an option without lifelong financial chains. Miss this window and you're playing on expert mode with the deck stacked against you. Asterisk, asterisk framing, make it normal, not personal. Asterisk, asterisk, do not say, I'm worried you cheated. Say this word for word. Babe, I've decided that before any child of mine is born, I'm doing a prenatal DNA test. It's standard for me, like a prenup or life insurance. It's not about you, it's about protecting both of us and making sure there's zero doubt for the rest of our lives. I already booked the clinic. It's non-invasive. Just a blood draw from you and a cheek swab from me. Costs about $400. Done? That's it. .com. Decisive. Non-negotiable. You're not asking permission, you're informing her of a boundary. Asterisk, asterisk. Delivery tone, absolute ice. Asterisk, asterisk. Sit her down when she's relaxed. Zero emotion in your voice. Slow, deep, lower than normal tone. Make unbroken eye contact. Smile slightly like a man who already made up his mind 6 months ago. If she interrupts, let her finish. Then repeat the exact same paragraph. Do not justify, explain, or argue. Leaders state. Betas debate. Contingency plans if she melts down one. Mild pushback? That's weird. Smile. Repeat the paragraph once. Change subject. Bring it up again in 2 weeks like it's new. 2. Medium explosion. I can't believe you'd ask. I understand it feels big. Take all the time you need. The test still happens. Then go silent. No texts, no reassurance. Let discomfort do the work. Point 3. Nuclear, we're done if you do this. Okay? I wish you the best. Start packing her stuff or yours that same day. The bluff folds. 80% of the time within 72 hours when she realizes you're actually walking. The 20% who don't fold. Congratulations, you just dodged a bullet with another man's kid. Asterisk, asterisk, bonus move. Prenatal plus legal combo asterisk, asterisk book, the NIPP non-invasive prenatal paternity. Test yourself. Pay for it. Hand her the appointment card. If she refuses, you already have your answer. Walk, do this right, and you look like a calm, high-value man with standards, not an insecure boy begging for trust. Do it wrong, and you're another cautionary tale paying for soccer cleats and braces for 15 years. Your bloodline, your rules. Protect it. Meet Chris, 42, software engineer, married his college sweetheart after she accidentally got pregnant. She cried when he mentioned a test. How could you ruin the happiest moment of our lives? He caved. Fast forward 12 years. 2 kids, $420,000 in child support and private school already paid. Last year, the oldest needed a rare blood transfusion. Hospital test showed Chris couldn't possibly be the father. Follow-up DNA on both kids. Zero match. His wife finally admitted a one-night stand with a coworker in 2011. Chris still owes support until each turns 21 because he waited too long to challenge paternity in his state. He thought, it can't happen to me. Then there's Marcus, 39, former pro athlete. Baby mama swore he was the only possibility. He signed the birth certificate at the hospital like a good guy. 8 years and $680,000 later, the boy needed surgery. Routine genetic screening. Marcus wasn't even in the ballpark. Turns out she'd been sleeping with his teammate the whole season. Marcus still pays because the judge said he acted as the father. He laughs now. I thought real men just trust. Asterisk, and don't forget Daniel, 35, dentist. Fiancée flipped out at the DNA mention. My family will never speak to you again. He apologized. Married her anyway. 3 kids, $1 million house. Last Christmas, the 7-year-old asked why he doesn't look like daddy's baby pictures. Curiosity led to an at-home kit. All 3 kids, none his. Wife confessed affairs with 2 different married men. Daniel's still on the hook for $312,000 more, plus college funds. He told his lawyer the same thing they all say. I thought it couldn't happen to me. These men had the money, the looks, the warnings, and they ignored every single one. Don't be the next name on this list. Old rule, the one that bankrupted Chris, Marcus, and Daniel. Real men trust blindly. Asking for proof means you're weak, insecure, a paranoid loser who doesn't deserve her. That's the beta mindset they drilled into you since kindergarten. Swallow the risk, smile, and hope. Hope she's different. Hope the kid really has your eyes. Hope the state never garnishes your wages for another man's seed. New rule, the one high value men live by in 2025 and beyond. Peace of mind is non-negotiable. Or I walk away. Asterisk, a $150 cheek swab is now as standard as a prenup. ASTD panel, or checking her phone when she's in the shower. It's not distrust, it's due diligence. You verify the title before you buy the car. You verify the bloodline before you sign away the next 2 decades and half your net worth. The high-value standard is simple. No verified paternity equals no ring, no cohabitation, no shared finances, no birth certificate signature. Refuse the test equals automatic next. No debate, no second chances, no let's work through this. This isn't cruelty, it's self-respect. The men who adopt this rule sleep like kings. The men who don't end up on child support forums at 3 a.m. asking if bankruptcy erases arrears for a kid that calls another man dad. Peace of mind or walk away. Choose once. Choose right. Your legacy depends on it. Here's the core truth. Brother, a 5-minute DNA test is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy against an 18-year, multi-million-dollar catastrophe. The women who panic aren't protecting trust. They're protecting the lie. The ones who agree without drama are the keepers. Everything in between is noise you can't afford. So here's your direct challenge. This week, before the ball drops on another year, book the test or decide right now to accept the risk forever. No more, I'll wait till the baby's born. No more, she'd never. The men in yesterday's stories all said the same thing. Do it. Protect your bloodline, your wallet, your peace. Then drop your story in the comments. Did you ask? Did she flip? Did the results save you or shock you? Thousands of men are reading this right now, quietly realizing they're not crazy. Your comment might be the final push that saves the next guy from becoming a statistic. Like this video, share it with one brother who needs to hear it, and subscribe for the unfiltered truth they'll never teach you in school. Peace of mind or walk away. The choice is yours. Make it now.